fez o cruzamento, Pedro Henrique tira.
Clarence, why the hell would you open it there? I just needed a little bit of fresh air, okay? So, yeah, how was your day, man? Yes, not bad, I guess, to be honest.
Cima ali. Vamos ver onde é que essa bola vai. Ave Maria! Gol!
Yo guys, it is your boy Decagonically Dead Trimner in here, and you are watching FTW. This is of course the series where I bring to you the best and more frequently the worst of what football has to offer during the last 7 days. What's been kicking off in the world this week? Well, just 16 minutes after the last series ended and Love Island is back.
I was coming back here to tell you that I loved you.
Can gas engineer Mitchell ignite a spark in the villa? I mean, they'll be hoping he can bring some good chemistry with Ollie Watkins, to be honest. This show makes absolutely no sense, you know. Imagine Love Island logic in football. Yeah, I'll be honest with you lads, I'm just here for the 50k. Board won't give me any money to sign a new midfielder, so... Any chance anyone older's gonna get in, or... So I'd like to couple up with this Islander because I think they're gonna bring a bag of goals to the team. I think they really work well within my high press system, and their link-up play is unmatched. I'm gonna choose Wout Weghorst. Are you taking the piss? Let's move on to the football though now, because a few of Europe's major leagues are over and out on this bank holiday weekend. Or should I say...
I call that's like a mini retirement.
But I'll be honest, the maddest news has come off the pitch as Romelu Lukaku was spotted at teammate Lautaro Martinez's wedding with US hitmaker Megan Thee Stalion.
Beg your pardon?
Him pretending to be American this whole time has actually worked. Now I get who he was staring at on Instagram. Honestly, US Twitter is in meltdown. These lot think he's in the GOAT conversation now. He can barely do 75 minutes for Inter without having an asthma attack. He can't be in that convo. But it doesn't matter because Americans will just be excited when they see that he's about to score a touchdown in the Champions League. We're about to get a generational performance from this man. Think about it. Megan in the crowd, he's gonna want to impress. Pep Guardiola's resigned to the fact that Rom's about to utilise the power of BBL to steal a Champions League crown. Meanwhile, the Belgian striker's using his newfound confidence in the dressing room.
I'm overriding your decision as captain. Yes, I'm overriding your decision as captain. I'm leading the ship. I'm overriding it.
On my life, she thinks he's American. He speaks with an American accent at family barbecues. And he'll be getting involved in the music. He's cooking up a feature as we speak.
He's better than me.
But he's got to watch out, you know, because Thierry Henry will be trying to steal Meg when there's a Belgian squad reunion. They might want to watch Thibaut Courtois as well in that case. And at the final two, man, Phil Foden's in the DMs already. Jack Grealish has been with a Wish.com version before. And even his teammates are going to be moving mad. Yeah, so I'd like you to meet my new girlfriend, Meg. Hey, yo! Wow. Yeah, man, that's her. Okay, yo, I see you. That's crazy. Wait, man, she's crazy. Yo, goodness. This is going on for a while. Oh, yeah, nah, that's crazy. I might have to get a little piece of that. From BBL to EPL, though, now. And there was a basement battle for the ages between Leeds, Everton, and Leicester. But who would prevail?
But we lived the dream.
Stop bad, lads. I'm lighting a ciggy up now. Open and get kicked out.
In the end, it would be Everton.
Oh, well, unlucky.
Former Premier League champions Leicester have officially been relegated after Everton beat Bournemouth 1-0 on the final day. And their team of the season will be a sight for sore eyes. Leicester have come up, won the Premier League, won the FA Cup, gone back down before Tottenham have done anything. Jesus. But Fox's fans were getting their hopes up after fake rumours were spread about by West Ham fans that Bournemouth had scored the goal to keep them in the league. It's a shithousery award for whoever was involved. Brendan Rodgers needs to go to jail for his sins. They never replaced Kasper Schmeichel as first-team goalkeeper. Honestly, give Thogden a second glove and he could go between the sticks. It's the end of the road for Leeds too, who slumped to a 4-1 defeat versus Tottenham, with goals from Harry Kane, Pedro Porro and a solo goal from Lucas sending them to the championship.
Well done, as I say to you. Leeds are doing well.
What?
Once again, Leeds' inability to defend literally anything strikes them down. Imagine Luke Ayling as a defence lawyer. Yeah, I'll keep it real, Your Honour. he did it. Excuse me? Yeah, he told me. Wrap it up, mate. Big Sam will have been trying to bribe the referee as Tottenham went 8-1 up in the 95th minute. Back when Leeds played Chelsea and they tweeted that life comes at you fast after taking an early lead, Chelsea responded upon their relegation. It's a shithousery award for the Blues admin. You lot were in the relegation scrap as well. Now, where's the shame? You know what's actually crazy? Frank Lampard has kept Chelsea and Everton up. This man is generational, but he's still not been kept on by Chelsea for next season and won't be pleased when he has to leave the training ground for the final time. I mean, it could be worse. You could have your mum go on record and say she loves Everton more than her kids.
Jenny Baines! Jenny Baines! I love Everton more than my kids.
And then the daughter actually saw it on Twitter. Being put below Everton on the priorities list is crazy. I'd get myself put up for adoption. It's not gone well for Weston McKennie on loan at Leeds. He's American and confused. He thinks going to the championships is a positive. Come on, we're going to the playoffs, baby. I feel for the fans though, honestly. The running of this club is shambolic. One team replacing them in the Premier League is Luton after their playoff win on penalties versus Coventry. Wholesome stuff at full time at Wembley, I've got to say, and it's been a crazy rise for Luton in the last 10 years. All the way from the National League to the Premier League in such a short space of time on a minimal budget, and Peli Ruddock-Panzu, who's played for them in every league the entire journey. After equalising though, and Coventry thought they were on their way up, one fan was feeling the emotions and was told to stop by another just trying to get a good picture. I hope the pic was worth being a killjoy for. Luton are a unique club and they've got a unique ground as well, with an away end that goes through a semi-detached house and over a back garden to enter the ground. VAR is going to be on a resident's Nintendo DS. Imagine Bukayo Saka goes down in the area and Michael Oliver wheels this bad boy out. You're going to have players stepping off the team bus, they're needing to walk past the kitchen to get to the dressing room. Yeah, mate, just at the end of the corridor to the left, past the ensuite. Who am I kidding? There's no ensuites in Luton. Bernardo Silva's just trying to get into the ground from the outside. And honestly, I just feel bad for the neighbours. Elderly men in the area are done for when Kai Havertz and Chelsea come to town. And what about the pundits? Roy Keane and Micah Richards' analysis from a living room. But genuinely, so impressive from Luton to achieve this. And without any sort of major takeover, it's crazy. And I wish them the best for next season. Now though, time for a break from regular viewing to go to Europe. And more specifically, Germany. Now after Bayern Munich's 3-1 defeat to RB Leipzig last week, it was a golden opportunity for Borussia Dortmund to break the chokehold that Bayern have on German football and win the Bundesliga. The task? Beat Mainz. Nah. What do you mean, nah? I genuinely don't want to. This was a bottle of astronomical proportions, as Borussia Dortmund found themselves 2-0 down inside the first half, with Bayern leading in the other game. Sebastian Haller also missed a penalty whilst the score was still 1-0, and this proved to be a disaster. Bayern prepped Mainz for the occasion before the game kicked off, and things were looking bleak for the Yellow Wall. A half-and-half shirt was not working. You know it's bad when San Marino are laughing at you, and Borussia Dortmund's boss had stern words at half-time.
I hate coming here. I'll be honest. I can't wait to mould my own team, because my team's gonna have testicle fortitude. Balls.
They'd basically formed an alliance with Tottenham at this stage. Let's go! Dortmund officials were frantically trying to put together a bid to re-sign Gundogan for his important goals. Meanwhile, as BVB were losing 2-1, Köln equalised to put Dortmund back top, only for Jamal Musiala to score a beautiful, dramatic winner in the 87th minute. Bayern were champions, Dortmund were heartbroken, and for Marco Reus, it was a tragedy. Jude Bellingham didn't want the camera in his face at full time. Crazy stuff for a water boy to demand. And look, I wanted the best for Dortmund as much as the next guy, but this bottle was an absolute shocker. They didn't deserve to win it. If I meet a Dortmund fan, you owe me a drink by default. Could this be the final straw for Jude Bellingham? He's probably on the way to Real Madrid, and Harvey Elliott's fuming about the situation after wanting Liverpool to sign him.
This football club is finished. Wahali, it is finished.
Meanwhile, it's another title for Bayern. I mean, these lot will be putting Bundesliga trophies in the car park at this rate. Luka Hernandez and Benjamin Pavard were behind the wheel of the team bus. Though honestly, with that pint in the way, Benjamin, get your hands off the wheel. Trophies have been on the line in European competition too, as Sevilla faced off against Roma in the Europa League final. This might have been the single worst final of all time. If I could sum it up with one theme, it would look like this. Anthony Taylor brought out the single worst refereeing performance as well. His display looked kind of familiar. I mean, having a European final and then deciding that it's going to be refereed by Anthony Taylor is criminal behaviour, and Jose Mourinho was fuming at his decisions. He recreated the meme waiting outside in the car park afterwards.
It's a fucking disgrace, man.
after shocking decisions, this one went to penalties. I was half expecting Anthony to have a part to play here. Yeah, it's not a pen. What do you mean? It's a penalty shootout. Lucas Ocampos from Sevilla had ice in the veins with a no-look pen, and Sevilla are inevitable. They ended up winning. Jose Mourinho threw his silver medal into the crowd for a kid, and now Roma are left to face off against the minnows of the Europa League. Fucking hell, calm down, Phil. Now back to the Premier League, and another team in the Europa League is Liverpool after a 5th place was confirmed. Mo Salah was not happy about this though, posting a tweet taking full accountability for no Champions League football. 5 minutes after it was confirmed, he had this saved in the drafts. Him and Lisandro Martinez have gone very different directions, but at least there's no Real Madrid to knock us out of the Europa League. I can't be arsed with Thursday nights, you know, at Verdansk away. Jurgen Klopp will be resting his players, putting himself out onto the pitch till he does his hamstring. The end of the season with a 4-4 draw to already relegated Southampton, but the positives? I don't have to watch Liverpool for 2 whole months. Manchester City already had the title wrapped up, so Arsenal's 5-0 win was redundant. It was a final game for the Gunners for Granit Xhaka, who scored 2. He just needed to snap 3 ankles and it would have been the perfect send-off. Someone paid 28 grand to watch this game, by the way. Meanwhile, if I'm an Arsenal fan and I'm seeing my players happy about a 5-0 win after bottling the league, I've got some serious words for them.
Why you was angry as that? Huh? That's what I want to know.
An unreal job, though, from Aston Villa this season, who secured Conference League football. A great job from Unai Emery after the start that Villa had. Villa fans will be taking out their frustration on Steven Gerrard, knowing they could have been on a title charge. And they'll be happy with European football, even if Jacob Ramsey doesn't care that much.
Bro, the fuck, man? It's only conference. Shut up, JJ, man. That's some respect, bro. You're mad. What? I got that record as well. Look at you, man.
At Chelsea, and there's the news that Joao Felix will not be staying at the Blues for a permanent move. Now, this coincided with one Blues fan getting a shirt with his name on the back, only to find out the bad news a few minutes later. And that means he won't be able to link up with new Chelsea boss Mauricio Pochettino, confirmed for the role for next season. The poor guy's had years of Hugo Lloris, and now he's got Edouard Mendy and Kepa. But honestly, how many of Chelsea's 185 players will he even want to keep? This man is 1000% changing the locks on the training ground for Conor Gallagher. Meanwhile, Callum Hudson-Odoi's next move is filthy fellas. Vinicius Jr. was spotted at Tottenham's ground with Jay-Z for a Beyonce gig. Listen, he's got to be careful Tottenham don't try and sign him, though Harry Kane will convince him to leave the premises.
Get out! Yo! Yo, chill, man. Chill, man.
Erling Haaland's finally been followed by his own father on Instagram. In the Women's Super League, and Manchester United's Alessia Russo won Player of the Year. One fan added Sam Kerr, telling her to hold that after she missed out on the award, to which she replied, no, she'll hold this, being the actual league title. Yeah, give her a shithousery award, mate. Jose Perez was feeling sad on behalf of Leicester fans after their relegation, saying, you'll be back. Brother, you still play for them. You got a contract. You'll be down there as well. And speaking of going down, a gang has been jailed for 30 years for the part they played in illegal football streams. 30 years? Are you taking the piss? At least the VIP league admin's gonna get a great reception on his way through HMP. Why do you need to be a gang for this, by the way? Yeah, bro, what you saying? You got the pack, yeah? Yeah, easy, bro. What, you wanting that Bristol City versus Cambridge, yeah? Meanwhile, to close off the Premier League season, and Sky Sports brought TikToker Forms onto the channel to rap about the year as a whole.
This year in the Premier League, how do I even start this recap? Man City win 3 in a row at Christmas. There was a team who couldn't see that. Arsenal spent 93% of the season on top. At least the Champions League music, one side of London is on. Klopp never won the Europa League. That makes sense why they're now in it.
Let's wrap up the season, guys. Over in France, and PSG confirmed yet another French title to continue their dominance over there. Honestly, at this point, we need a Ligue 1.5. Mbappe doesn't care all that much for his 27th league title. And there's also the news that Lionel Messi will be leaving. He'll be playing his final game for the club this weekend, and he's back on Zoom to apologise for the fact he's getting himself out of there.
Mi compañero, hay club. Sinceramente pensé que íbamos a tener libre después de tener organizado este viaje a Arabia, el cual...
Only 3 fans turned up to congratulate PSG after their title. All the others were outside Neymar's gaff. To be honest, Neymar wasn't there for the celebrations either. Instead, he was at the Monaco Grand Prix with Red Bull. Here we see him pictured with Spider-Man star Tom Holland. It's nice to see 2 great actors together. Tom's a Spurs fan, and I don't think Neymar will be too keen on the idea of heading over to North London. But at least this is a chance for the Brazilian to show Tom his Joker acting self-tape. Hang on a second, wait, why is your sister involved in this role? We even got a Neymar Vicstar collaboration picture. One of the greatest footballers of the modern era, and Neymar. On the pitch and before PSG's most recent league game, Kylian Mbappe accidentally hit a girl in the crowd during warm-up. The poor girl, man, being on the end of an Mbappe strike, she's still concussed. Just quickly, can you play centre mid? Because Carlos Soler is shit. Meanwhile, Spanish centre-back Sergio Ramos did the unthinkable with some sensational footballing technique. You're shit, bro. It was a case of mistaken identity at the French Football Awards when a journalist mistook Marshall Munetzi for PSG's Nuno Mendes.
Tell us how you play with Kylian on the left side, how you play with him, or you...
No, I don't play with him. I play for Franz. Vous pensez c'est qui?
Meanwhile, at Ajaccio, there was a case of forgotten identity as they left their player Ben Hamed Traore behind after everyone got on the team bus and left without him. Poor guys had to get an Uber home, man. Right, boss, where you going? Not you again. In Spain, and Real Madrid midfielders Eduardo Camavinga and Aurelien Tchouameni, of course, used to play in France, and their old clubs faced off against each other in the form of Rennes and Monaco. But it would be Camavinga who had the last laugh over Tchouameni when his Rennes side were victorious. In Germany, there's been a lot of focus on the title race, but shout out to Union Berlin, who qualified for the Champions League for the first time in their history. Unbelievable achievement for them. Again, another side that got promoted recently. Meanwhile, down in the second tier, and there was crazy scenes at Hamburg, who thought they'd been promoted after a win on the final day. Results elsewhere were going their way in the form of Heidenheim, so Hamburg fans invaded the pitch to celebrate what they thought was promotion back to the Bundesliga. But the Heidenheim game hadn't finished, and they scored in extra time to gain promotion over Hamburg. The other team that Hamburg were playing have to do a pitch invasion now instead. Meanwhile, over in Italy, and this is one way to celebrate a Scudetto crown, as Napoli boss Luciano Spalletti got himself a Napoli tattoo. You know they can't fire him now, it's impossible, it's literally on his arm. Meanwhile, in Serie C, and Lecce conceded from what they thought to be a very dubious penalty. The club's president then decided to storm onto the pitch with a walking stick, have a go at the referee, and then when told to vacate the place, he got on his mobility scooter and drove off. Don't mess with this guy, man. He's seen the mafia firsthand. Now that it's time for your goals of the week, we got some screamers here again. And first of all, in America, Brem Sumaro has quite literally got a foot like a traction engine.
Brem Sumaro fires! Oh my word! Shit!
Over in Saudi Arabia though now, and what a beautiful and extremely satisfying corner routine, with it being played to the edge of the area and then almost side foot volleyed in. It's just beautiful technique. And then finally in Turkey and at Eyüpspor, how about this for a last minute goal to win you a playoff tie? Now in the Netherlands, and there's the continued story of Quincy Promes, a man who's been involved in multiple shenanigans in his life, has now been found with 75 million euros worth of cocaine. One whole Virgil van Dijk, you know. He shanked his uncle or something in the past. Now he's been caught doing this. I'm starting to think he's not a nice guy. The Ajax forward is, of course, in custody. 75 mil, so that's where the Anthony money went. We've got live scenes of Road to Shore on his way to organise a meeting.
I found a contact with criminal connections in the southeast of England and set up a covert meeting with a top cocaine dealer. Pablo Escobar is watching on fondly.
Oh yeah, that's my favorite saying. That's my favorite saying.
In Saudi Arabia, and Al Nassr missed out on the title. Just worth noting, they were 5 points clear before Cristiano Ronaldo arrived. Hey, old dad, I know you just lost the league, innit? But can I go get some Haribo? Meanwhile, in the second tier of Saudi Arabian football, Al Ahly faced a shock relegation last season, a very prestigious club in the country. So after winning the second tier and bouncing back to the Premier League, it's fair to say they couldn't care less about a less illustrious trophy.
بطلا لدورياله لموسم 22-23 بدون أي احتفال.
Hello all and welcome to The Beautiful Game, the segment where we take a look at the poetic and brilliant side of the game that we love. We are back by popular demand for yet more glory. And that concludes The Beautiful Game. Now, in Bolivia and at Independiente, their goalkeepers provided the worst howler of the week. It wasn't even going in. You could have just let it go through your legs. Galatasaray won the Turkish Super League, and one of their fans did a great job at riling up rival Fenerbahce fans on a bus. I don't know who this is over at Corinthians, but this trim has gotta go. Zacapa, a team from Guatemala, probably need to invest in their medical department, because throwing players off the stretcher doesn't seem like it's an NHS approved technique. How about this for some intelligent play over in South Africa? As a defender in his own area goes down injured trying to waste some time, the opposition attacker knows exactly what he's doing. Dribbles over to the defender who's down on the ground, gets him to give away a handball by trying to grab it, and then wins himself a penalty. 2,000 IQ stuff. Over in the Norwegian Cup, the mascots up there seem a little bit different to the usual. How dare he milk that cow before kickoff? Do you get me? Because obviously... Meanwhile, back in Brazil and at Sport Club, after a string of incidents and brawls in the crowd, they decided to ban male fans for one game only to try and decrease the amount of aggression in the stands. Only women and children were allowed, but they ended up getting into scraps instead, and the police had to get involved. Meanwhile, at Passo Fundo, and it's all well and good having 5-star skills, you just got to use them on the opponent, not your own goal mate.
Very interesting.
In Poland, and you've got your weekly dose of a goalkeeper getting tackled, trying to play out from the back. But he didn't even touch the ball, barely, that time, so it's actually somehow getting worse. A team in Brazil, again, called Mauá, had to have a stoppage in play this week after the goalkeeper accidentally broke his own crossbar. I don't know whether he, tried to hang off it or put pressure on it, but it bent the entire crossbar, meaning the game had to be abandoned until it could be sorted out. We've got a footballing individual here with a burger on an ad board behind him. I didn't know football were doing targeted ads at this point. Brazilian substitutes have gone too far, honestly. I'm not gonna lie. I've got some questions to ask about the sub they're about to bring on. Yeah, so I'm joined by a massive fan here. Now, what did you make of the game today? In Denmark, and you've seen the own goal, how about this for an own assist from Brøndby? Meanwhile, in Peru, an Alianza won 6-1 this week, but the one goal they did concede was an absolute stinker. In Colombia, and this is not a football pitch, this is a water park. In Japan and in the J-League, defending is more of a guideline more than a rule. I'll be honest with you, lads. I am fucked. And everyone, make sure you're sitting down comfortably, okay? Because you're about to get out of your seat when you see by far the best penalty I've maybe ever seen in my life. Now that it's time for Still 0-0, and you guys know the score by now, this is a segment of the show where I bring to the best of Sunday League and amateur football. Now, winding up your opponents is a big part of Sunday League, okay? If you can win the mental battle, you might well win the technical one too. Now, we've got a right back here giving some stick to the cameraman, saying he's 2-0 up against his side. He gets stuck in, fouls an opponent, gives away a free kick, but karma for this right back is about to come right back around.
Hey, Red, gotta go! Yeah, gotta be Red, head go.
Yeah, nah, he got himself sent off. On to the weird stuff though now. First of all, we've got a group of workers at a stadium who've spotted that a wasp's nest has somehow ended up on the top of a corner flag. Now, I don't know the logistics of how this has even happened in the first place, but these lot have got to get rid of it. What's the plan of action, I hear you cry? A black bin bag. Yeah, I'll be real, that was always gonna go terribly. In Brazil, and we've got a man who claims that his mum got with Cristiano Ronaldo at a party. Now, apparently, this man's uncle is Loren, the right back that used to play for Arsenal and was part of their invincible squad. Now, to be fair, he did have some family photos and WhatsApp messages that did back this up. His brother seems to be Loren's son. And apparently, at a party that both Manchester United and Arsenal players were at, his mum was approached by a young Cristiano Ronaldo. Now, I don't know whether the timelines add up for this or whether I believe it, and I don't speak Portuguese. But if anyone does, let me know whether this is genuine or not. Now, finally, we've got two very contrasting stories. Over at PSG, there's the story of Sergio Rico, who's been hospitalized after an incident involving a horse. Now, the Spanish goalkeeper was apparently kicked in the head by a horse. He's still undergoing treatment, but want to wish him and his family the best. But in more feel-good news, then there is the story of David Brooks, the Bournemouth midfielder who'd been undergoing chemotherapy and cancer treatment. He made his return to the training ground recently and received his first international call-up for Wales. Great to see him back on the road to recovery and doing what he loves. But that is going to wrap up football this week, and I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, then feel free to slap a like on the video, and of course subscribe if you're new to the channel. You can also follow me on social media. It is at @theofficialfng on Twitter and on Insta. It's been a pleasure ranting at you guys today. Have a wonderful day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.